Are you going to
UCLA.
the owners' meetings on Sunday?
Yes. Although I can't get there Sunday morning because it's my nephew's bar mitzvah thing. So I'm getting there Sunday night. I'll be there for Monday morning. But is anyone are you going to go? No.
Am I going to go? I don't have a job. How am I going to go?
Yeah. I've never been. I don't know how it works. Can you just waltz in? No, I have a credential.
It's awesome. I have been to the owners' meetings before when I was with PFT, and all the owners are there, all the coaches are there, the GMs are there, and it's much more casual because there's not nearly as many media that go to that as like the combine or the draft or anything. And they're just kind of like, you're at this swanky hotel because the owners ain't staying at a Holiday Inn, and everybody's kind of there, and you can just walk up to anybody and talk to them.
I'm terrified. So Kyle's going to be there at the bar, and I'm going to be like, hey, man, you want to get a drink? And he's like, no. And that'll be fun. Maybe I'll have a drink with Kyle Shanahan. He'll be like, so why are you such a jerk to me? I'm like, what are you talking about? Well, give me one example. I think you're great. Hell of a coach.
Can you ask Kyle who the starting quarterback is? Just who's the
I asked him at the end of season press conference, and he was like, honestly, I haven't even thought of it. So now I'll be like, hey, Kyle, it's been a couple months since I asked you who the starting quarterback is. Have you gotten around to thinking about who it might be? And I think there's some fair follow-ups. Like, well, what if Brock's not ready? What's he going to say, though? I'm just taking it one day at a time. Is he going to say some stuff like that?
So here's the thing. It's hard because, like, you get your one question, right? Really, everybody needs to team up and ask the follow-ups together. Like,
it's true.
I'll show you. Like, you be Kyle Shanahan, and I'll be people at the press conference. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Kyle, who's your starting quarterback next year?
It's a little too early for me to say that. I only got one healthy starting quarterback. I'm just focused on OTAs.
Is it Brock's job when he comes back?
See, that's a good follow-up question. Is it Brock's job when he comes back? Did Trey lose this job when he was injured? Did Brock show enough to have for it to be his job whenever he comes back? Or is there a competition?
Right.
Have you thought of any of these things?
Hey, Kyle, can Sam Darnold beat out Trey Lance and win that job week 1?
I don't even know if we're going to be alive next week. Yeah.
Assuming we are, Kyle. Like, I want to know that because I think Darnold has a complete shot.
But again, Kyle's whole thing is he doesn't want to sit there and look like he's deflecting. He wants to look like he's being as transparent as possible. So he'll have something planned. But I'm just curious, like, what is it? Because it seems like he doesn't want to alienate any of his quarterbacks. He doesn't want to come out and say Brock's the quarterback because that alienates Trey and his agent. And he doesn't want to say that Trey's the quarterback because that may not even be the case. So I really want to see how he kind of rides the fence here and tiptoes around this sensitive subject.
Obi-Wan49, thank you very much. Nice to see both of you together. Keep up the QC. But I don't really care what Kyle wants to say, right? Like, because you got to, not you specifically, he's got to be pinned down, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't thought about it. Why not? Do you think you should have thought about it? Has anybody from the team reached out to you and asked what the hell is going on with the quarterback situation? What does Trey have to do when he's in there to keep the job even after Brock is healthy? Like, there are so many questions.
Yeah.
And Kyle needs to start answering them. I hate the fact that he's like always on the fence about this stuff.
Well, I'd like to give the benefit of the doubt to the Niners beat writers. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'd like to think that what else is there to talk about? What else is there to ask about, Rob? What are you going to go and be like, so what do you think of Javon Hargrave? Like, we already did that with John Lynch. What is there to ask about? I hope someone doesn't pop in and like ruin the flow of the questions because it really should just be 15 quarterback questions. Honestly.
Yes, it should. Like,
that's just all it should be.
But you know what it's going to be? It's going to be, tell us about Javon Hargrave. How does he fit into your defense? Maybe some draft questions, maybe, but like, who cares ultimately?
Right, because a lot of people are just going to be straight up afraid to ask the question because he might not like it. So our job is to ask him a question he likes. Like, really?
No, it's
Serious?
not. It's not. The complete opposite, as a matter of fact.
Exactly.
Hey, Kyle, when did you call Ben Roethlisberger and see when he wanted to come out of retirement? How about that little nugget we got from Big Ben yesterday, saying the Niners approached him last year to come out of retirement? When was that? Was that when Jimmy G went down, or was that before they signed Josh Johnson? I would love to know the answer to that question.
Good question. Was there a rumor that the same was that they called up Phillip Rivers or vice versa, or was that shot down?
Vice versa. It was Phillip Rivers, I think, that contacted them, although Rivers has denied that, but that rumor was out there.
Well, it would be very embarrassing to call up a team and have like that's kind of like what Brady did, right? That's the two Hall of Fame quarterbacks. Kyle's been like, and apparently they called Big Ben.
Yes, that's according to Ben. They called him.
And he was like, thanks, but no thanks.
He said he thought about it. He wanted to prove to people, that he could still play, but ultimately, he wanted to only wear the Steelers colors and blah, 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 all that fluff. Maybe they just didn't want to pay him
ultimately, the Niners only offered him $1 million. Yada, yada. That's very interesting. That's a hell of a question too. Yeah. I mean, I think all the questions need to be about quarterbacks. So what we should do is get like a whole list together and get like the 15 best from the fans.
I do that every time there's a press conference. I tweet out a list of questions I want to ask.
You do?
Are you not reading my tweets all the time? I should be on alert.
You should be on alert. I don't know. Next time, I got you.
I have so many. Oh, I love interviewing people, first of all. And there's so many questions. The Brock question, the Darnold question. He's got to answer some of this because all this Trey stuff, like if Trey had played last year and been maybe not what Brock was, but just like, showed promise, that kind of thing, nobody would be saying Kyle Shanahan mishandled the quarterbacks. Nobody would be saying he doesn't know how to scout quarterbacks. It's just that we haven't gotten to see him.
When you ask Kyle a question he doesn't like, he answers in a way that makes he makes it seem like he thinks you don't know what the hell, like you're an idiot. Yep. He responds like you're a freaking idiot, that you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know football. And dude, these guys have to be there every day, every season. So most of them just don't want that smoke. They know what he doesn't want to be asked. They know how he's going to make them look stupid on camera. And they don't go there. I mean, Jason Cole was like, hey man, I mean, how can you 3 injuries, 3 quarterbacks? I mean, it just got eviscerated by Kyle Shanahan at the end of that, right? And well, we could just hand off every time then. Like, I don't think Matt Mayoko wants an answer like that. I don't think Nick Wagner wants an answer like that. That's why those questions don't get asked.
But that didn't make Jason look bad. It made Kyle look bad. It made Kyle look like an arrogant jerk for answering it that way.
That's how I look at it. But I'm not sure that every beat writer looks at it that way. I think some fans, that on Twitter, the response was, oh, Kyle dunked on him. What a stupid question. Da-da-da-da. Like a journalists like us are like, hey, you know what? That took credit. That was a good question. It took courage. Good for that guy. But fans are like, hey, screw that guy. Go Kyle. That's why I look at it. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what? Like they represent a small portion of the fan base as a whole. Don't let the loudest section of any group influence your
Well, that's what we're learning from your March Madness bracket. Not necessarily the people with the most Twitter followers are winning these matchups. Very interesting.
Yes. Again, go vote. Link in the description.
Vote. Yep.
So Kyle's going to talk on Sunday. I think John Lynch hopefully will talk. Maybe Jed will talk. Are you going to try and track down Jed?
I would like to, because me and Jed are super good friends. No, the thing is, if I see John, he'll be hella nice. He'll use my name. He'll shake my hand. He might even have a beer with me. Really eager to see if I can pull that off with Kyle or Jed. So we'll see. Now I'm missing the first day. Unfortunately, it's a bar mitzvah event. Right. I can't miss that. But I'll be there the rest of the time. So we'll see what happens.
What would you ask Jed?
Yeah. And John too. Like at the end of the season, you guys said, or John said, that you wanted to make changes. You needed to look into making changes to win a Super Bowl. Like, what did you settle on? What is one thing you guys want to change? Because you've been on the cusp for a long time, and everyone understands these windows don't last forever. So what is something you want to do differently? Because I don't think they're going to ever answer that question straight. They talk about what they say.
They say, well, we change everything every year. We're constantly changing things, but they never specifically say one thing that they changed.
Right, because they don't change anything. I'd like to ask that, but I mean, also you could ask him about the quarterbacks too. Like you've said here that it was cool to sit Trey for 2 years. You said that on the record. It's year 3. What would you like to see vis-a-vis Trey this year? How would you like to see him handled? What, do you need to see him on the field? Do you not care anymore? Like, what's up, dude? You've already given him $25 million. Do you have a say here? Are you going to say something about the quarterback? That would be fair. They have to talk about this. I mean, I don't know what happened at the combine, but it felt like John Lynch didn't have to really talk about this very much.
I was amazed at the questions at the combine. Like nobody even asked about Nick Bosa at all at the combine.
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, there's going to be that question too, the Nick Bosa question. Yeah,
and I know that like there's national people there, and they're asking questions for their articles, but yeah, the Bosa question. Yeah. Bosa's not. It's not a negotiation with Bosa though. He just writes his number down on a piece of paper, slides it face down across the desk, And Jed York and John Lynch should just pick it up and say, do you want that in hundreds or 50s?
Well, here's a negotiation, I think. How much money's guaranteed? And that's why I think this Lamar Jackson thing's a big deal, because if his contract's fully guaranteed, then the trickle down is, well, what about the best non-quarterback in the league? Why shouldn't Nick Bosa's contract be fully guaranteed? And I don't know if the Niners are ready for all that. So it'll be really interesting.
It should be fully guaranteed. They all should be fully guaranteed.
They all should be. And there shouldn't be a salary cap either, but come on.
Salary caps help owners. That's what.
That's
their
it.
only purpose is to restrict money.
Yeah, parity is overrated, and all these guys are billionaires. They should all be able to spend, a competitive amount.